Hey, all you little dummies out there. This is the head, big, cold-blooded dummy. So what we got going on here today is we got the Moto Guzzi V9 bobber with the Centenario package. What we're doing today is we're doing a valve adjustment. So I was talking about in another video how easy it is to take the valve covers off on this bike. The spark plugs, they just come off real easy and they just swing out of the way. And here's the valve cover. Inside is super clean. And when I took the 3 bolts off the valve cover, the gasket they're kind of stuck. So I used this plastic pry bar, and I got up underneath the edge of this and just gave it a little gentle nudge, and I was able to break the seal and get it off without scratching anything. I saw one guy on YouTube, and he was actually a professional mechanic at a motorcycle shop, and he just grabbed a screwdriver and pried on it, and I could see he scratched the top of the cylinder head. Anyways, so what we're doing here today, so you can already see somebody was doing something here with the screwdriver and put a nick in it or something. But this is the first time that the cylinder head has come off on this bike. Anyways, I just pulled this cylinder head off, and I bought this bike brand new. It only had 4 miles on it, and it was a leftover 2021, and I bought it in 2022, so it had been sitting around, in the dealership. Well, I just went ahead and pulled this valve cover off, and take a look at these rocker arm shafts. What the hell kind of shit is this? Is this rust or corrosion or what the hell? That's not a good sign. So that's kind of concerning. Oh, Lord. Anyways, let me see if it'll wipe off. Okay, so it's coming off, but it looks like it's stained. It looks like it's stained it a little bit, so that's not good. What the fuck, man? All right, let's take a look at the other side. The other side's not as bad. It's only got a tiny amount of corrosion built up on it, but God, I just hate to think what's down inside this frickin' engine. Oh boy. Alrighty, let me get back with you. Let me clean this up a little bit, and then I'll get back with you guys. Hey, all you little dummies out there. This is the head, big, cold-blooded dummy. There's little red fox. Hey, little red fox, where's the squirrel? Ho, 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 ho. Get that son of a bitch's boogers. Where's the squirrel, Red? Okay, anyways, guys. Okay, so I'm back with an update on the Moto Guzzi. So we found out there was some corrosion, rust deposits on the top of the rocker shafts, and over here on the adjuster nut. So I used some WD-40 and some paper towels and just went and cleaned everything as best I could. it left some staining. But so I'm doing the valve adjustment anyways, and let me show you here what we got going on. So after you get the valve covers off, okay, and then you pull the spark plug out. There's the spark plug hole down there. Then you get yourself a bamboo skewer for barbecuing, and you stick it down in the spark plug hole, okay, until you hit the top. Well, first thing what you do is you sit on the bike. You get on the bike, you sit on it, and you stick your finger down in there, and then you put it in 6th gear, and you slowly roll it forward until you feel air pressure blowing against your finger. That means you're on the compression stroke. So that means the piston is coming up. So then you go ahead and you put in your skewer, and you just slowly inch the bike forward, and you'll feel the skewer starting to come up, and then you'll feel a little bit of almost like no resistance when you're rolling it, because that piston is now at top dead center, and you'll feel the travel. Okay, so then you know you're at top dead center on the compression stroke. And then what you do is you come out here and you just grab, and you should be able to lift these up, and just there should be a tiny amount of play in each one, and that lets you know that you're on the base circle of the cam. Okay, then you measure what the gap is. So in my case, each was just slightly a little bit loose. Okay, now the intake is supposed to be 0.1 millimeter, and the front is supposed to be 0.15 millimeter. Okay, so you undo the adjuster nut here, and this is the adjuster tab. Oops, sorry. You back off the nut, you insert the proper feeler gauge, and then you just finger tighten this down until you get resistance on your feeler gauge. And then you put your 11 millimeter box end wrench on here, and you slowly tighten it while your finger is holding this little tab here. And then you get it snug, and then you check, and you should have resistance in this. Just a little bit of resistance, okay? And then you go ahead and you torque it down the rest of the way. And you don't have to frickin' torque these some bitches a whole lot. Just, you can do it by feel. And then once you get it torqued down, you want to feel it again. And you should have just enough resistance in here where it's, you can feel it kind of dragging. Okay, so that means you got that set right. Then you're going to come back up here. You're going to just double check your torque. Double check this. I always do it 2 or 3 times because I'm a dummy. And I forget often what I'm doing. So that's how you adjust it. Then you do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so I've come to the conclusion the right-hand side cylinder has more corrosion, a lot more corrosion than the left-hand side. The left-hand side barely had any corrosion, just a little bit on this back one. So if you notice the way the bike sits when it's just parked, the right-hand cylinder bank is higher than the left-hand. So when the bike was sitting at the dealership for all those months and stuff in the humid weather and whatever, moisture somehow got into the system, a small amount of moisture, and it came up to the highest point, which would be on this side here, and that's the only thing I can think of. So we're just going to put everything back together. I cleaned it. I cleaned all the corrosion and rust off of it with WD-40 and wiped it down. At a later date, I might come back and pull these rocker shafts out and give them a real good cleaning and try to get rid of that staining on there, because that staining is going to be basically where the new if any new rust is going to come back, that's where it's going to grow again. So I'll put it all back together. Now I know to monitor this, and since the valve covers are so easy to take off, I can just, in a couple months I can pull these off and then check it and see what the status is here. So all right, you little dummies, I'm gonna get the other side adjusted and get this thing all back together and fire it up. Alrighty, I'll catch you guys on the other side. All right, later, all you little gators. Later, Red. Say later to all the little gators. Later, gators.